Darling, 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 there's no need to worry. It's just a couple things. Just a couple things on my brain. If it's you and another, there's no need to worry. Cause I can sleep between. I'm a third wheeler, I'm a side better, I'm a homewrecker. Give it up. I'm a third wheeler, I'm a side better, I'm a homewrecker. Give it up, give it up, give it up.
What's up, gamers? It's Noob Slayer 343 here. Presenting the top 100 montages of the decade. So yeah, it's quite a lot of montages, but it's been a long decade, and there's been a lot of montages, thousands, maybe tens of thousands. I don't know, but we're cranking it down to 100 on the 100. I thought this would be a pretty fitting video for me to do, since I have been in the community since about 2010, and I would like to share some of my opinions on my lists that I put together here. And also, it would be nice if I could spread some light on some videos that people have forgotten about maybe, or haven't even seen, and so show some love to those videos. And what I don't want people to do is get all upset in the comments. I get it. People put their heart and soul into videos, I know you want to be in my list. Everyone likes recognition, but I have pretty particular tastes in videos, and so I guess I'll give some of my biases. I really like videos that have a lot of artistic integrity, videos that really do their own thing, kind of challenge what montage and edits are. So before I bore too many people, we'll get into the honorable mentions. Starting with the ones farthest away from the list, and we're going to end off with the ones that just been cut off. I did apply a diversity rule for people like Zestel, Puba, Dutchy, Hyena, and so on, who have really dominated this last decade with some of the best videos. And so some of the videos that are going to be in these honorable mentions should be on the list, but again, I'm just taking them off so we can get some other content creators on this thing. Alright. So we're going to hop into this. First honorable mentions, Thomas and Alcom's Halo 2 Vista Dualtage. Love the intro on that one. We got the Bubtage, probably one of the first really great Puba videos. The Block Party song was edited so well. We got That's Life, one of the greatest Christmas tages ever by Revenge, Orange Clock, and Riss. We got Craze Home, a really fun little fun tage back in the day. A lot of cool little tricks in that one. We have Let It Be Part 2. Part 1 was really great too, by Chris DX1 and Andrew's XXL, but the video is blocked in my country, but I do remember enjoying that one a lot. We have Bake Taj, love me some Strange Stick, love me some Danny Brown, Monopoly, sweet video. We got Godson's Final. If you have not seen this video, please watch it. It is too good. Yeah, it's so over the top, and it's like the most maximalistic edit I've ever seen. It's so bad, it's so good, if that makes any sense. It's like I could have never edited that video. Whoever made this clearly has really good editing skills, but I can't tell if they just have like a cringy brain, or I don't even know what's happening. This is straight up the closest Halo has ever got to anime. We have Dutchy's Blue Skies and Dutchy's Halo 3 Montage 3. These two videos gave me depression back in the day. Yeah, what? It kind of ruined my life when I was 16. We have Lynx's Final, Sick No Scopes, good video. November Has Come by Scythes. First of all, great thumbnail, good song, just enjoyable edit. We got Momentum Driven 3, edited by Crates, gameplay by Trunks, great video. It's blocked in my country though, so. Then we have Piano Frenzy Likes It Black, pretty funny video. Yeah, I mean, it is a video, it's definitely a video. Then we got Levitate. Normax killing it these days, just getting so good at editing. Then I have a slot just for like random Yoshi highlights. Feather by Schwazy, love that little highlight video too. We have Fuster's Final, really laid back but very clean editing. It really shows that you can make an enjoyable video with just kind of not the best gameplay. He's not really a montager, but I always loved his editing. We have Jolter's video edited by Dutchy. Classic. I remember when I was like 16, that fucking pipe, that Mario pipe transition honestly blew my brains, straight up. We have Tatami, edited by Zestel. Just a great Zestel video. You know, just another one great Zestel video. Love the intro on that thing. Radius by Joshington. Not the biggest jump video guy. You don't see too many Halo Combat Evolved ones. And this was just such a clean video all around. And some of the stuff he was doing was just crazy. We have Fat Rats, Paris, and Oxygen. I particularly really like these ones from New Era Fat Rat. You have the Come Up, edited by RT, gameplay by Miracle. Really sweet, recent MLG video. It's just, I love that Kendrick edit.
Miss me with that bullshit.
We have Transmigration from Albin. What's Albin's editing name again? I can't remember right now. But Transmigration, great video. We have Zuby's Final. This one's probably going to surprise a few people. I'm sure this is higher on a lot of people's lists. Zuby's, I don't remember him being the best editor, but like this video is really well edited. It's just not particularly my favorite taste, but I do really enjoy it a lot, and that's why it's on the honorable mentions with all these other videos I also do enjoy. Raw Hatred from Hyena. This was a really important video. This was the start of a new era for him. Then we got the 5 Deadly Venoms, created in the pinnacle of the everyone wanted to be Hyena type era. Kobe's part was probably my favorite, but all the parts are really good. We have Intertwined, Revenge edit, gameplay by Fat Rat, fun little glitchy edit I've always really enjoyed. Clicks' montage edited by Puba, love that video. That freaking intro song is so good, and just how it's edited, like this one a lot. Mighty, very important video in Brian's discography. This was definitely a turning point in his editing. He was always a great editor, but then I feel like Mighty, he definitely made like a really noticeable jump. We have Between Friends, great edit by Scythes, love a good spooky video. We have Trev's MCC Montage 1, laid back video, and Trev has definitely some of the most interesting gameplay you can possibly ever see. There's probably not too many people that put more time into thinking about clips than this guy, I bet. We have All Caps, another really good recent edit from Normac. Lightning Snipes of Death, episode 4. Love that series in general. Hey guys, Exillo here. We have Knockout by Exillo. Just a really great mini-tage by that guy. He's made plenty of great mini-tages. We have Bear MCC Montage 1, laid-back video, amazing big team battle gameplay, like Bear has been known for. He's really the new era Waffle Brains. We have Emneon's Best of Reach Taj, definitely one of the greatest players to ever play Halo Reach. 2012 to like 2014, he just really dominated those years with Halo Reach. Jaded, another Emneon video. I feel like this was a turning point in Mr. Blonde's editing. This is when I feel like he really got good, and this was just such a dynamic duo through the midpoint of the decade. And I think that they're pretty underrated, as people I think have kind of written them off. But Emneon and Mr. Blonde have just made countless of great videos. So you have Swag 2, just a really great social reach Taj from I think like 2011. I always love the soundtrack on that thing. Omniscience's Novus Contest winning entry. Just a sweet edit. That guy just killed it with the effects. It's a pretty underrated edit. Then we got Revenge's edit. Obsidian. Cool little video. Love the dark tones. We got 414. Silly Goose and Sandman. We have MK and Mr. Temptation's Fantasy. Honestly, this video is blocked in my country. We got Diesel's M2. Incredible gameplay, first of all. It's very like into the trance-like almost. Yeah, very minimal editing to be on the top 100 list. There's gotta be some sort of effort into concept and edit and theme and whatnot. But amazing gameplay. We have Terminus, classic Zestel video. So good. 2112. What? We have 11th Hour from Hustla, one of the great new era Halo 2 players. Then we got the Tale of Me saying, honestly, just a crazy moment. I love that these guys pulled everything off so well. Like, this couldn't have been done any better. No, it's Immortal Part 3 from Skulls. All done on H2C. This video was pretty important because it was in this kind of in-between era after Halo 2 went offline in 2010 and before MCC was out. Halo 2 was really dead, but Skulls carried that shit on his back. Like, that era, it was all Skulls pretty much, honestly. Well, despite all like the 1v1 Tages that were coming out at the time, but Skulls was really like, you know, he was kind of leading things back in the day in that era. So shoutouts to him, and I love that credit section too, like the last clip where the kid's complaining and he's like,
Howdy BX Army, where's my clip?
Really well done part of that video that really appealed to me. and I just like the video a lot. We have Gun Fu, probably one of the sweetest intros I've ever seen. That's a hyena video if you didn't know. How he edits the clips and places them to match the monologue, super creative. Blizzard of the Netherworld 2, classic hyena Halo 3 video. How it ended with that icicle snipe that blew everyone's mind back in the day. The whole second leg of that video, like the legendary mode, straight bonkers. Like, this guy's wild, you know. Kyle's MCC Taj from AA. Always loved my little cousin's gameplay. That avalanche sniper clip, I think it was a Kill Tackler. Holy. Discovery from Dutchy and Zestel. Really interesting concept. It was a legacy video and how you followed the orb and finding the files that left the legacy of Dutchy behind. Some of Zestel's best visual effects. This is only here in honorable mentions just because I'm using the diversity law. This isn't my favorite Dutchy or Zestel video, so I don't feel too bad. It'd probably place around the 50 mark, I think. Great video, obviously, nonetheless. So anyways, without further ado, let's get into the top 10, 100, top 100, yeah, that one. So if you thought this video would be long, you're not wrong. We're on to number 100. Don't mind the design. From UK or Juke D. I don't know. He's like Dutch. Anyways. Really creative video. Love the intro. He's become a really good editor. He's clearly a descendant of like Eriko or Albin. What is his name? What is his Albin's? What the fuck is Albin's montage name again? I don't fucking know. THUMBSUP. Yeah, he's like a descendant of like THUMBSUP and Eriko, whatever. Like that sort of style where it's like really jump Taj influenced and they kind of lead that into a kill. A lot of little cool tricks. This guy knows stuff, you know, clearly. I gotta hand him that L though. He did put his girlfriend in the credits. You don't want a time capsule, you shit like that, cousin. That's not gonna age well. It's like a banana, brother. Well, I mean, like, banana turns into banana bread if it ages. I mean, so that was... he time capsuled the video. He's young, though. He's like 18 at the time, I think he made the video. So, young love, you know, like, a year. You see each other for a year and shit, you know? It's like a year and... when you're a year in relationship time, it seems like forever. But realistically, a year is short, bro. You think this decade went by fast? There's 10 of them in there, you know? Anyways, great video, but you may have been at least a spot or two higher if that didn't happen. No, I'm just joking. You have a good one, brother. 99, Extraterrestrial. Some really sweet outplays. Okay, it has this really cool clip where he's like S1 on Guardian. He's in a bubble shield and he bounces a stick and it goes to the S2. It's nuts. He does like, he's blocking shots and shit with equipment. And lack of soundtrack, but it's kind of like just sound design. Does that make sense? Sure. 98, Refresh, the long-time follow-up to Fresh. Classic, you know, what do you even call those people? Big team battle, creative launchers? Mongoosers. Something. The gameplay is just fucking nuts. Obviously, there's nothing there for editing, really. There's just, like, some of the greatest Banshee Ride multi-kills you'll ever see. Nut sticks, and it's just crazy stuff. 97, Jukebox, edited by Swanky Lemon. Hambone is the gameplay guy. Another really creative video. Similar to Don't Mind the Design, it has a heavy focus on tricks and just creative plays, you know, and outplays. This one has more of an influence on outplays. He's tricking people here for the most part. Some cool editing segments. This guy got a freaking Predator missile inbound. He did that thing where he jumped off like 4 people's head. There's a really cool clip where he gets like a pressure launch into assassination. That part was sweet. 96, we have Yoshi's M1, edited by Apple Fanatic. Guy fucking loves apples. Probably some of the best MCC gameplay we'll ever see. Yoshi's seriously, just without a doubt, one of the greatest new age montages there are. Overall, pretty straightforward video. Just really solid all the way through. What do you expect from an Apple video? Just really clean and great syncing, but not too much experimentation. I'd like to see him take more risks in the future if he does keep on editing and putting out videos. But yeah, you know, I would say just a really solid video with just incredible gameplay. 95, we have Ingenuity, ingenuity, and sure, from Trev and Bear. On the creative level for gameplay, this is probably like the highest tier level of stuff you can find. I think this would be higher on most people's lists. Just for me, the lack of editing, sort of like Diesel's M2 and Refresh, it just, it gets knocked down lower a bit. But to feel for them, like, these clips are so long, and they only have like one sync point, and so I don't even know how you can even edit these clips without just letting them play out. A lot of the times, they're breaking down the map in these really like lucrative ways, and they clearly know the game a lot more than I do. They have some just really crazy shit going on here. On to 94, we have Fly Away 2. Just a really fun video from Xillo. I thought the edit was just so on point. Like, Xillo can always edit, but this was one of my favorite edits from him. Just fun shit. 93, we have Dance from McGee. Always loved this series so much. It was just fun. His leftovers are so good. Really tasteful, minimal editing. Big time replay factor. Like, I've always come back to Dance. And I don't know why. It's just a fucking leftover Taj. Something about it is addicting, apparently. 92, we have No Soul. Classic Orphan Slayer video. I think this video definitely would have been higher on my list if this was a few years ago. Slowly grown off for me a bit. Don't know why, because I don't think it's aged too poorly. When the world needed her most, she vanished. I'm talking about Kikomiya's Ryosuke. First thing that comes to mind thinking about her is definitely style and aesthetic. She was definitely on her own wave. Her effect selection and her use of vaporwave and slow down trap music made you feel like you're watching something more deeply infused with cyberspace, which may or may not have led to influencing creators like Mr. Person. In the 90s spot, we have Stu's Final, You're Doing It Wrong. Super underrated. This video only has like 16 likes, so I'm sure that some of you haven't seen it before. I feel like this is just really such a pure funtage, and it's super tasteful. I think a lot of videos that are under the umbrella term funtage can be done super poorly. It's like legitimate good times, and the clips in here are actually really hilarious. It's just a genuine ass video that I've always enjoyed. In the 89 spot, we have Actives and Examples Final. This two duo was super strong throughout the middle of the decade, and just the clips in this thing, and the video is so good too. In the 88 spot, we have Leslet's Montage 1, a classic video, that Radiohead song, so good, with one of the most legendary Killionaires and closers to a video ever. 87, we have Dill Pickle's Halo 3 Montage 2. Great video all around, love the intro, and this is probably some of Dill's best editing. His gameplay he's definitely very reminiscent of Xillo, and that's what you're really getting. That sort of, you have a mix of just like ridiculous splatter clips and also a skill for high multis as well. Shout out to Dylan. 86, we have The Anarchist, specifically episode 3 and 10, but specifically 10, because the Normac episode is just straight up nuts. It's super punk as fuck. It's really made me realize how montaging is really like a counterculture to 343 Industries. It's literally like a diss track. What is this? It's a Unisec. Like, it's so bad mannered, and it's just such a crazy long series, but it's so consistent throughout the whole thing too. I love how it just really led up to that 10th episode as well. It was just like a mastermind. 85, possibly one of the most addictive edits I've ever seen, Kowloon. At first I was like, it's pretty good, just a normal good Zesto video. And then like, I just can't get that song out of my head. And also I really like how it was inspired by Howard's personal life and his trips to Kowloon. And it's just a really cool video all around. Love that edit. 84, we have Sultan's a Snipe. Great big video from your boy Trukio. That song, where it's just like a girl humming or whatever for 7 minutes. Sweet though. Some of the clips are straight up bonkers. I feel like for sniper clips, Trukio is actually the only person, maybe not the only person, but he's definitely someone who is at that level of like Hyena for like sniper clips. Really cool stuff. 83, we got Global edited by Madison. The classic. Personally, this video hasn't aged too well. The whole like kind of cheesy movie score soundtrack and just over the top scale of like epicness. It's kind of corny. But that last song, I think it's like a 30 Seconds to Mars song. Maybe not, but the last song of the video, it's not personally my taste in music, but it's so feel good and it's so well executed and done. I just love it so much. and then how like the final sniping, he just like zooms out from the world. It just felt like the video was really striving to be like larger than life, and I think it did execute, but again, I just don't think it aged too well. 82, we got Stobbs' viral design contest entry. You know, the boy, Stobbs. Just honestly, flat out sweet edit. Definitely deserved to win that contest. Stobbs' transition work in this video is also just flat out nuts. And also the song transition to that Rat-a-tat song, so good. I love that song. And love this edit. What are the odds? 81, we have Mean Something. Another Stobbs video? Damn. And Trank. Super feel good video. That sort of sniper spree that Trank got on that streamer. That's a really like rememberable moment from this decade, and I'm glad it really played out super well in this video. Just has again this really fun tone to it. 80, we have Composure by GTS. Really dreamy edit. It's really beautiful stuff right there, not gonna lie. 79, we have Most Dope's Closure edited by THUMBSUP. My favorite part of the video was the closer. Honestly, don't know if that was that a legit kill attack, Most Dope? Be honest with us. Or did it get cut out just in time so we didn't know? Honestly, not important, because really it didn't take away from how big of a moment that last clip was and just how it led into the credits. That was just so well executed. Again, thumbs up. It's just so good on the edits. 78, we have Television by Normac. Just such a cute fucking video, honestly. One of my favorites. This sort of new era now editor Normac. I'm loving it so much. And just, I think one of my favorite things about this video is it definitely shows Normac's fundamentals with editing. It's like he really just understands what's enjoyable for the viewer. In the number 77 spot, we have Zen's MIA. Super in-your-face edits. The drums in that MIA song just go so hard. Zen executes really well with the special effects, especially that, I think maybe it's 3D, I don't know. This really weird sort of kind of matrixy part in the video, it's dope. And also like the faded color correction, great edit all around. 76, we have Foreigner, Spawn video edited by Trank. I've always liked this video. It's really infectious, honestly. The edit was really fun. It's kind of slightly glitchy, really vibrant, like really nice colors to it as well. Just a really memorable video, and Spawn always had really great clips as well. 75, we have Wet 2, a classic montage from just a really cool crew of people from earlier this decade. That has like some really great clips in it, obviously, and just funny moments. Stormy V2, that boy, Stormy, so good. Super underrated player. That one soundtrack clip he has with like the mongoose splatter into I think Atrocity or something. And then also like his Killionaire spree where he goes like Killionaire into Atrocity, I think. Fuck. And then plus the addition to the original Wet Squad, you had Exillo come into to add his, you know, his flavor to things. 74, we have Phase 2 from Piano Frenzy. Probably my favorite edit he's ever done. Very conceptual and thematic. The gameplay was super... Not necessarily what we're used to seeing from him. Obviously, there's still some creative plays, but what he was more into in Halo 1 was sort of like spawn and game knowledge. It's just the gameplay was really good, and the edit was enjoyable. It was dark. I liked that video a lot. I've seen it way too many times. 73, we have Avengers by CJ and Muggsy. The intro, pretty much every Muggsy's part was great. I love that first song. It's just, that shit hits. It hits. What can I say? It hits. Again, classic video. Probably would feature higher on other people's lists, but I feel like for its runtime, it does have some dead spots, like CJ's parts. Yeah, and also does that weird thing where it has like the really long credits. I do like the credits. I kind of like that credit song, even though it's like kind of low-key dubsteppy or whatever going on there. It's fucking hard. But yeah, then it kind of has like another song after the credits that I always forget about, and yeah, it just kind of drags. But Really great video, ambitious as well. That has to be noted. And these two really came together to create, I'd say, probably one of the most classic MLG, legitimate MLG montages ever. So again, applause to you guys. And you know, even though I was hating on CJ for the last minute, like, guy still killed his shit. So yeah. 72, you have Broly Bros Halo 3 montage. So good. There's not too many MLG montages, which just sort of like strip back editing that I really truly like. This was definitely one of them. Back in 2011, in the very big post-rock era of montages, this was definitely one of my favorites. Editing by Purgatory, again, it's very stripped back, but it does hit the sync points and it does do its job. But it actually was a really exciting video. Again, I think maybe it gets carried a little by the soundtrack from like the explosions in the sky. It's hard for the video not to feel sort of moving. The video always really resonated with me, and the gameplay was also just sick too, especially the last clip. At the time, I don't think I've seen too many atrocity extremes, especially at that level. 71, we have Gladiator from ZR or ZR Trucchio, depending on where you're from. It's this very synth-heavy, intense edit. It really feels like the closest thing we've gone to like a Blade Runner video. Even if Skulls literally made a video called Tears and Rain. This video was like really hypnotic, and it just, obviously it's super enjoyable. And this is definitely one of my favorite edits from him. 70, we have Virtue and Vice. Both the trailer and the Reach beta-tage. Gameplay by Dutchy and Man Without Modem. Editing by PTW for both the trailer and the montage. This really is on here because of PTW. Of course, the gameplay was really sweet, but PTW really created like this unique atmosphere. This like kind of eerie sound design, and the video. It's hard to explain because the video is kind of like beautiful, but also dark. Again, it's just the environment of this video was it was really cool. It's definitely a favorite of mine. 69, we have Detox. His final, edited by Local. Super cute video there. It really progresses. Like the momentum just picks up until the finale, which is something I really liked. Detox, super great guy with really great gameplay. The theater work is, again, expected. It's a Local edit, but I think this is some of my favorite theater work. The second song was the highlight for me editing wise. The first couple angles in the second song, I just love those so much. The ones from Heretic, and that's a pretty tough map to get nice angles on just because it's just fucking burgundy. 68, we have Born Like This from Y Block. It's pretty scary overall, not gonna lie. It kind of has this apocalyptic factor to it where you feel like the world's gonna end, and his clips are just so vicious, man. Just like those snipes. Ugh. 67, we have Drive 4, the classic. Dutchy and Fat Rat, the two best friends. One of my favorite parts of that was just the build up to the end. It had this really slight psychedelic tint to it, which I enjoyed from the editing from Dutchy. And one of my favorite clips was that rocket shot for the overkill on arrows across the map. Sweet part of the video too. Quite a climactic part, I'd say. 66, we have Piano Frenzy's Best Of. He's a tricky guy, what can you say? The guy knows how to play the game. But also it's a really funny video because Piano Frenzy's a pretty funny guy. And that shows throughout this edit, especially in the credits parts. I love how it goes from, it goes from like the main song and then he like completely hard cuts to Hammer Time. And then it cuts back to exactly where he left off. 65, we have B6 Halo 1 Montage 3. Super clean video, honestly. B6 is low-key really good at editing. His gameplay is nuts, I'll tell you that. This guy knows Combat Evolved. That guy's he's definitely played Combat Evolved. Really enjoyable video here, and I really like that last song too. 64, we have Crossing the River Styx from Hyena in Wonderland. I don't think I've seen too many videos where the pace like just picks up continuously. It almost made me feel antsy, and I love that. Really satisfying, short little video from the two. 63, we have Best Man's Halo 3 video, edited by Sora. This is definitely my favorite actual MLG Pro montage. Again, it was in that post-rock era of montaging, but this was definitely one of the best videos to come from that era. Again, I may have said this before, but yeah, post-rock, it is tough to not edit post-rock well just because the music is so moving, usually. And it just makes everything feel kind of epic. But Soar is just, he's a really special editor. I think what's special about it is there's not too many times where you have someone who was like a legitimate member in the scene editing a MLG Pros video. This video was pretty artsy, you know? With all our MLG montages, again, they just feel sort of like so normie, you know? There isn't anything special about them. But this one was a different one. And Best Man's gameplay too, fast. Like, this guy had style too. Not too many MLG pros do. Like, they're really all kind of like 3 cents boring, you know? And Best Man, he had those whips and that speed to him. So, again, classic video. 62, we have Colors and Shapes from Foster. Definitely a very underrated edit. I love the purple CC to it. The sort of, a very spacey kind of tone to it. You know, it was nice. Again, Foster's just a really great editor, and this really just shows in this video. 61, we have Klima's Aether. This is maybe slightly nostalgia factor for being placed at 61, but I do really like this video. Some of those sticky clips are just nuts. The one on Narrows, and it's such a sweet part of the video too. And then it leads into like that crazy double stick off the main cannon of Valhalla. And I always like Klima's editing too. Number 60, we have the next episode from Silly Goose and Riss. I remember when I was like 15, hella dorky, and like I literally shared this on Facebook. I was like, yo, everyone has to see this. Like, mom, see this, alright? My aunt from California I've never met, please watch this. It was that good. There's so many effects that I always really enjoyed in this. Like, this Silly Goose really went off on this one. He can really match fast-paced songs, which is, I guess, pretty unique to him, because that doesn't usually happen too much. And for the amount of times he's done it, and it really shows on like the next episode how well he can edge to these fast-paced songs. 59, we have Rewind 3, a follow-up to one of my favorite videos ever, Rewind 2. I think that's one of the most important Halo videos ever made. But Rewind 3 was a great follow-up. It's really hard to, you know, outdo 2, but they kind of just went off of, they didn't really change it up too much. They just kind of went off of what happened in Rewind 2, continued the story. Added a Canadian guy. That part always made me feel good as a Canadian, you know. I was like, oh shit, you know, we out here. Again, it's just such a unique series. It's almost documentary-like, you know. I always felt like that. How it just really tells the story of friendship and like a journey through Halo and their experience through the game. Really cool and unique. And also, Void's editing was so good in this one too. And I love the ending, even if it was just a sniper overkill on Snowbound. How it just leads into the credits was really beautiful and just so well executed. Back to honorable mentions. Slaying Mantis 3. Really sweet and original concept, although I think the gameplay hasn't necessarily aged too well, as sort of after the kind of that 2013 era when Slaying Mantis and Hyena were really doing like all the claw snipes. The standards have just raised so much from it that sort of like some of the clips in it may not be as impressive as they were back in the day. The video itself is still really great, and I love how it led into Double Dragon, or is it Dual Dragon? Whatever, but it really led into that big video that Hyena and Slaying Mantis ended up going on to make. Exodus whatever. Nearly forgot this was even from the 2010s. This is from mid-2010. Super fun video. I love how it just like rolled with the lyrics, and it kind of had these funny little excerpts where the lyric would cut out and it would go to live game chat. Really original video, and the edit itself was just really cool too. 58, we have Ninja Killer 2. One thing I love is off-brand Hyena videos. When he kind of makes videos that aren't necessarily music in the realm of Hyena. Shit was just really intense, and the clips in it were just quality. And also, this was an important video too, because this is, I may be wrong, but I think this was the video that Hyena came back with, because he went on like a 3-year hiatus, or maybe even longer, but came back in like 2013 under the name Brain Dead Bow. And he just came back strong, yo. And Ninja Killer 2 was like one of the first videos he came back with, and it was just, it was the beginning of this new era of Hyena. One of the, I guess the greatest content creators of the Halo. 57, we have Is Oz from Dutchy. One of my favorite newer videos he's put out. I love that Aphex Twin song. Transitions were really unique as well, especially the one that led to Guardian, where he kind of does this bird's eye view sort of thing. What was really cool was in the previous video he put out, he always goes on these hiatuses and whatnot, and then somehow he always has this kind of subscriber user base, like they don't even understand like who Dutchy is and shit. Like he'll get like a large portion of his comments will be like, your clips aren't good because the players aren't good, sort of thing. Like comments you'd see 10 years ago, but just flooded in his comments always for some reason. Yeah, anyway, so the video before Is Us that he put out got super hated on. Like, I remember the comment section were flooded by those kids. And then what was funny, what he did with Is Us, the theater work really highlighted purposely how bad his opponents were. It was literally like commentary about his previous comment section. And so that was just genius. Also, cute little intro. 56, we have Andrews Is XXL Best Of. This video fucking bangs, honestly. That Lil Wayne song, when this video came out, it came out in a time where, if you didn't edit to rock music, you would get hate in the comments. Halo community used to be just super stingy. And then also Lil Wayne, beginning of the 2010s, was just like, without a doubt, super hated on as well. And so for him to use that song, I thought was just really audacious, and I respect that. And the song's fire too, so fuck it. But yeah, this video got a lot of hate, but it's just so good. And it's one of those videos where it's like, yeah, it got hated on back in the day, but with age, it just got better and better. 55, we have Denny's Halo Reach Montage 1. This kind of sounds stupid to say, but he's like the master of the crossfade. And how he uses it, it's wild. And everything just flows into each other. Also, the ending, like the crescendo of this video, when the violins come in on that Boneyard clip and the song, and it's just so good. 54, we have Fractal by Zero Trucchio. Contest winning video, quite deservingly so. This video is just really sweet, especially that second song. He has this really cool kind of mix of trick plays and weird little niche stuff on top of just his ridiculous style and skill at sniping. 53, we have Reed 18's H2C video. Reed 18 being such an OG of the community, this video felt just super new school, and I would look forward to him putting out something similar to this, because this was this was definitely one of my favorite edits of the year it came out in. 52, we have Frost by MK, gameplay by Trunks. I always really like this edit. It has this really sinister and almost creepy sort of tone to it. Trunks' MLG gameplay was always great, and MK with the effects was just nuts. I love the second leg of the edit where it just picks up and it gets really intense. Really always enjoyed this video. 51, we have Blue 70 from Osvita. Pretty much, this dude edited this on a Game Boy Advance. It really commits to this kind of 8-bit or 16-bit theme. I think he really delivered on it really well. Number 50, we got a big one. We got Ishii's M8. Talking Ishii. This was a very anticipated video when it was coming out. This was definitely a classic social montage from middle of the decade. My favorite parts being part 1 and part 3. I really like that Lord song and that, whatever the third song was. He gets a Killionaire with just an assault rifle and a needler. That being one of my favorite clips. Also love the transition into the third song from Howard doing his Jeffrey Hauser impression. A little Giraffery shout out. Like most self-edited videos by Ishii, he's a very emotional guy, he loves his friends. It's just a very honest video, And so, anyways, just a classic vid. 49, we have Curls from Puba. Always a sucker for short edits that use multiple songs too. Doom song's classic. Some of the effects in it are just hilarious. Why he's so stiff, you need to smoke more brethren parts. The Dakari face jumping out on the pit. Always love the color correction in it. It's like very murky and muddy almost. And it just really fit the vibe that he was going for, and I always enjoyed this edit all around. 48, we have Telepathy, video from Furion. I think this may have been his first Halo 4 montage, and I think this is just a great example of his abilities to just create very quality montages, because the clips here were super below par. Especially what was going on at the time. You had the guys from like Halo Frat House, like Biscuit and Kryptonics and stuff. and even Mneon, and they were putting out montages with like 12 Killionaires in them, which is a month after the game came out, Halo 4, back in 2012. But then Furion came out with his video at the same time, or even after maybe, and it was all just, it was like, you know, triples and overkills and stuff. The thing is this video is just really great, and it definitely shows that you don't actually need Killionaires to really make something that's kind of compelling, you know. It has this kind of weird like spaghetti western theme to it. That was always pretty cool. Builds up really nice too. It has a pretty sweet crescendo on the second song. And yeah, just honestly a great video that may have been forgotten in Furion's catalog, but one I have not forgotten about. 47, we have Lemon Line from Revenge. One of my favorite Halo Reach edits ever. Has this sort of childish, nostalgic sort of theme to it, especially with like the Jungle Book effects. Revenge is obviously known as an amazing editor, but I think one of my favorite things of his is just his syncing, and it's always just so clean. Also, the clips in this were really sweet, especially that like triple exterm or whatever it was on Countdown. Yeah, it definitely sort of had this like little half-baked vibe to it. 46, we have Cinema from Silly Goose. Probably the greatest content creator of the decade, I'd say. Silly Goose, definitely. He's always just been the crutch of the community. And Cinema is one of my favorites from him. Although it's just such a product of its time, especially with that Skrillex song, it is undeniably really great. My favorite part's always being when he like kind of reverses time. You fly through the universe, and after you think it's a Halo 3 video, and then it's like, nah, you get to like the Halo 2 planet, and then he just snaps with the edit in that part. Yeah, honestly, pretty much the definition of a banger video. Yeah. 45, we have Silent Hill 3 from Mneon and Mr. Blonde. This was seriously a quality video, especially the last part when this edit really picks up, when like the drums come in, because it's this kind of eerie, dark, and ambient video for the most part. But then the song kind of develops and starts picking up, and then the edit really follows suit. Honestly, the sync is just so hard in this video. The Silent Hill series was really sweet, but yeah, this third one right here was definitely my favorite. 44, we have Fresh, a classic, Elite C56, and Waffle Brains, just big team battle legends, straight up goosers to death, you know, edited by Orphan Slayer. This is a favorite from everyone. The launch into the Banshee is probably one of my favorites. Kind of sad video, like it's got this kind of, you know, uses that one song, the Band of Horses song. Yeah, like, I don't know, I feel like everyone at one point cried to this video. 43, we have Now I'm Up to My Neck with Offers from Fat Rat and Shwazy. This is definitely my favorite new era Fat Rat. He just executed super well with what he was going for here. You really feel like these two guys are kind of like villains, you know. The song and the edit really brings that out. Fat Rat's editing is just so punchy. He really emphasizes the sync points of what he's trying to hit. And that intro is really sweet. 42, we have Defrost by MK. Defrost in general was a big video, but I'm saying specifically it was MK's part, which really shined through. Back in the Novus Vids days, in the early parts, it was clearly that MK was the best editor of the group. It's kind of funny how Novus Vids, which was just a bunch of like beginner editors, not even beginner editors, but just like a lot of unknown guys, and they're all just friends and came together. And honestly, and looking back on it now, I can say Novus Vids is probably one of the greatest editing groups or collectives that the community ever seen, and I won't be far off with saying it was the best. You have Zestel, Puba, MK, Local, THUMBSUP, and many others all in one group. And it's funny because when they all came together, they all weren't even nearly close to their prime, but I think MK was definitely the one who developed fastest, and Defrost was really when we got to see that, because his edit on there was crazy, and I remember like everyone was obsessed with that at the time. The like music notes and stuff when the guitar part comes in, the solo is so sweet. 41, we have For the Children. This video is just flat out great. I feel like this video would be like in a back alley of New York or something. You found like a mixtape on the ground and it just said Halo Montage and it was spelled poorly with like a shitty handwriting, and you put it in your computer, this would be what would come out, and I love it for that. It's this very internet infused, sort of like dark meme culture almost, just like this curation of all that. It even touches in on like ASMR, and it gets almost a little unsettling. It's kind of weird to think of how not closely montages historically have been connected to sort of internet culture, despite being a part of, you know, the internet and video distribution and whatnot. Yeah, I think Strange Stick has always been low-key one of the sweetest editors in the community, and definitely one of the most original minds, I'd say. 40, we have The Play by Xillo and Crates. Something I really liked was Crate. He sort of did this effect with like the pan and cropper. I'm not sure exactly what he did, but it feels like the field of view, it's like zoomed in a little bit. It gives this like kind of personal feel to it. I don't know how to explain it, but I really thought it paid off. And obviously, like, the cinematography is just straight up always exquisite. You know, when you got Crates, arguably one of the greatest minds to ever, you know, play around in theater mode. And I think it definitely shows here. I love that Yes song as well. Xillo's gameplay is fun and charming like usual, and Crate really edits well to that. 39, we have Johi's CEM1, edited by Twisted Eye Ernest. This video is flat out scary, and I love it. And Joey's clips are just so sweet. It's so intense. It's almost like 90s action movie or something. Just feels like the editing is from the 90s. I don't know how to put it. It's a really captivating video. Like, it's just super intense, and it just matches Joey's clips because his clips are just hardcore as fuck. Definitely one of the sweetest parts of the video. One I like is when he just like rocks naked, and I love a good like streamer reaction, but that was probably one of the better ones I've seen. So yeah, the recent video too, and I definitely thought that was one of the best videos of the year. So yeah, shout outs to them. 38, we have Threshold by Puba. Very unique video. It has this very psychedelic garage rock tint to it. Dutchy and Dakari's gameplay, always sweet. You know how it is, you know, like, we are Sex Bomb, we're here to make you feel like death and get sad and stuff. Come on. Can't hate that. It's too good. 37, we have Madman's Final. Specifically the first half, the more well-edited part by Zestel. But the whole video features just wild gameplay from Madman. I love the really colorful effects, and the transitions are just so smooth. It's like every clip just kind of mixed into each other. Pretty heavy video, you know, this shit was thick. 36, we have Horsebox Killer from Hyena. One of my favorite Halo 3 videos of his. Again, like I said, I'm a big fan of his off-brand sort of videos where he does something a little different compared to his normal aesthetic and what he's usually going for. Horsebox Killer was a sweet change of pace, and some of the clips and stuff were really sweet, especially the high ground triple. Just thought this was a pretty little video, you know, and I love that ender clip where he sticks the oddball and then resets and kills the guy. 35, we have the Wake Up. This is definitely one of the most ambitious videos I've ever seen. This video kind of had some people shooken up a bit. Some people either loved it or hated it. I was definitely on the loved it side, but I do understand where people were coming from with their criticism. This video was trying to reach a deadline for the Halo Forum movie competition back in 2014. This new kind of style he created with just like insane implementation of wild theater work, and that was really kind of his patented style, but we've never seen it in a fully big video, and he goes for it here. Definitely, I think it definitely pays off, but sometimes, yeah, I would say it takes away from it a little bit. I think that if humans were able to definitely process stuff at a lot faster speed, this would be the greatest edit of all time. But unfortunately, there are some spots, like I'd say in Piano Frenzy's part, there's some spots that are just going by so fast where you have to put the shit in like 0.75 times speed or something, you know? That was still a really enjoyable part though, Piano Frenzy's. Dutchy's, oh my god. Dutchy's part on part 3 was my favorite. That song transition was awesome as well. I thought in part 4 had some of the best angle implementation. Again, very ambitious. I've always loved this video all around. 34, we have SDS from Scythes. This video was just super unique. Love me some good old abstract stuff right here. I thought that intro was really awesome with the zoom in, zoom out. Some of my favorite effects are in this. Definitely got a pretty imaginative mind to come up with some of the stuff. A lot of editing that was matching the lyrics, and I always like that. But yeah, super trippy stuff right here, you know? 33, we have Toasty, his Halo Reach montage edited by Zestel. Oh shit. First of all, I love the soundtrack in this thing. It's so Howard. But that third song though, oh shit. I literally go stank face every time that comes on. Yeah, I haven't seen editing that's matched a fast-paced song like that. Execute that well. That was literally Silly Goose, or to be on Silly Goose tier, fast-paced editing. I got the formula. Take that. 32 is Take That, featuring Kagi, edited by Strange Stick. This is definitely a one-of-a-kind video right here. It's a ninjatage, so it sounds a little cringy, I know. But holy fuck. Probably the most bombastic video I've ever seen in my life. This video cranks the shit to 11 and takes it anything to a whole nother level. Okay, Strange Stick I think is one of the craziest minds to ever virtually step foot in this community. And I just think what he did here was so unlike anything that's ever been done before. Out of nowhere, you get this intermission part. It's so weird, and I love it. It's like this opera intermission. It's beautiful. And it's really needed, actually, because it's some of the most fast-paced editing I've ever seen for like 2 minutes. And then it leads into this just like 30-second opera intermission. And then it gets right back to the in-your-face style that he was going for. And first of all, that's fucking funny. Strange Stick, he's always been like kind of a tongue-in-cheek editor. Everything, even if it's serious, there's always a little bit of humor thrown in there. 31, we have Delightful, edited by Sachiro, gameplay by Dakari. Dakari being one of the most interesting figures that's ever been in the Halo montage scene. He has just a style of not caring. It doesn't matter what multi-kill he's on, he'll just throw out the most ridiculous shots. It's like he just doesn't feel pressure, you know? He literally goes for a 360 nair in this, which is hilarious. I love that first song. The second song was really great, but I felt like the highlight was the first song. The editing was weird, but in a great way. It felt like this hazy daydream through Dakari's brain, you know? It had this orange color correction, and the colors were all kind of faded out. It really worked really well. Yeah, this was a really sweet collab from Sachiro and Dakari. Yeah, compared to, I'd say, most people's big videos, it's definitely one of the more far out there ones, and I've always liked that about it because it's like very experimental in atmosphere. And the one thing I thought that didn't pay off though was the credits or the ending. I thought it just didn't match the video. Obviously, I love this video. It's in spot 31, but I always thought that credits part was kind of unnecessary with the whole like Halo 3 trailers and shit. I guess Sachiro was maybe feeling away, or even Dakari as well. Either feeling like reminiscent or nostalgic, but it just kind of felt weird that we were just seeing like forged trailers on a Dakari video. 30, we have Fat Rat's M3. The year this video came out was definitely my video of the year. Fat Rat's editing was really great. Obviously, now seeing what he's capable of doing now, this video does feel a bit dated, just comparative to what his skill is at now. The intro song's so good that the transition to the second one from the ceiling bounce overkill on Narrows, that will always be a pretty fucked moment in Halo Montaging. Like, that was wild. That's pretty unnecessary, brother. Like, come on. That third song is so kind of sad, you know? Like, the clips were obviously really nuts. My favorite being the one from like the middle of Epitaph or Epilogue, whatever you want to call it. And he literally quickscopes every single person without missing a shot for a killing air. Yeah, not to like spoiler alert anything for the next 29 spots of the countdown, but I guess I'd say here, because I'd like to say it is kind of weird thinking that this is the highest I'm placing a Fat Rat video, as he is someone that I see is definitely one of the top 5 greats of all time. I guess, you know, it's definitely showing its age now, just because what we're able to see from what Felix has been doing, whatever his next big video is. I wouldn't be surprised if that was just like an undisputed classic, you know, because he definitely has it in him. He's definitely the channel of 2019 too. 29, we have Game Over from GC and MK, gameplay by Mirific. One of my favorite contest entries from the 2014 movie competition. GC's part was really sweet. I always did enjoy his, but honestly, it is hard to not be outshined when you're up against part 2, which was MK's part, and that was really why it is so far up this list. MK's part was just so vivid and dreamlike. First of all, it starts off kind of dark, and it's, you know, it's a little scary, but then the song turns out to be a banger. Like, the bass guitar comes in. The song won from MK's is sick, but really it was song 2 and 3 that really got me. Switches to this like really ethereal almost. Like I said, it's very dreamlike, and the editing was just like, it felt nostalgic. The song transitions were just nuts too, especially part 1 to 2 from MK's part. 28, we have Time from Crate. Honestly, probably the greatest minimalist edit. It's just cinematography, the video. It's like a theater masterclass. The theme of the video was just so tightly constructed as well. Nothing just seemed out of place for the whole 4-minute runtime. The edit really, it felt like it created its own world in a sense. It's definitely for patient viewers. It's definitely slower paced, but it is very rewarding if you kind of understand what Crate was going for here and the atmosphere and what he was building. Just superb stuff right here. 27, we have Wizard. Crazy to think that this was a submission alongside with Death Machine as well for the 2016 Halo 4 movie comp. 2 videos that can win a contest. That's just like flexing on everyone, but it's whatever, you know. Like some of the other videos I've talked about, this is a good example of just being very conceptually tight. Nothing strays too far off of what it's trying to create in this world, in this montage. I actually really did like that open-ended ending where it's like you don't even know if he hit the shot or not. 26, we have Shwazy, self-titled, edited by Scythes. Yeah, Scythes. And self-titled, you know, just being called Shwazy, like, that's pretty hard, not gonna lie. That's pretty hard. Arguably some of the best social gameplay ever. My favorite clip being that 2 times killing there on Last Resort. I thought Scythes did a really good job. My favorite part being the Earl Sweatshirt part. I thought that was just so well done, and it was very much in the realm of like what you would expect from a Scythes edit. It was just very fitting. I don't necessarily agree with the last song, like the electronic Biggie remix. I thought just was such an important video that maybe the video, it could have used a better finale song. And I know that, you know, music is subjective, but I always believe that there's objective better ways when you can construct a soundtrack of, you know, placements of songs and whatnot. But I do understand the use of it. Clearly, he tried to tone down the editing and really put in the best clips in that last song. And I'm sure a lot of people did enjoy that. Those clips did get to play out, really. Personally, for me, though, I would have liked something a little bit more like climactic. Yeah, that's my only criticism for this video. I thought it was, obviously it's 26, so it's pretty amazing. Generational video, you know, not gonna be too many more Shwazy's gameplay. He's got that perfect storm of like the speed of someone like Furion or a Hyena or a Riss or something, and really like he's got that consistency too of like a Dutchy or whatnot, and it's wild what he's able to do. So 25, we have Sweet Chin Music, edited by ATB. This is just an infectious video. I don't think there's too many more videos I've come back to more than this one. One of the most important things about an edit is just the replayable factor, just because it's so short. This one definitely has it all there. Short video, multiple songs. This is probably just some of the best Halo editing to indie rock. I love the MK sort of reference from Game Over. Pretty cool seeing like intertextuality in a Halo video. I thought that was awesome. Some of the effects with the flag were real nice too. And yeah, just one of the most enjoyable videos I've come across. 24, we have Till I Get There and also Live Your Life from Saleya. I know it's kind of weird that I put them together, but honestly it was kind of my bad. I kind of forgot to put Live Your Life on the list, so here they are together on 24. They are 2 very similar videos anyways, so I don't necessarily feel too bad. I'm sure they would have placed around the similar spots. I think one of the coolest things to see was Saleya's transition into Reach. You know, coming off of those really legendary videos that he made in Halo 3, it was nice to see the creativity turn over to the new game, which is now almost hard to believe that it is 10 years old. Some of my favorite moments from those 2 videos, starting with Till I Get There, definitely when he jumps off the grenade launcher round, that was really sweet. And when he like evade concussion rifle launches all the way across sword base into another double kill, which was actually fun. Like straight up nuts. And Till I Get There was actually filled with so many great outplays. I think obviously some of the standards for what he was getting in some of these videos, some of the multi-kills like aren't great. To be fair, that never really was his thing. Even though they weren't mind-blowing multi-kills, they definitely added some variety to the gameplay, and I really liked that. It just felt like another sort of aspect of his gameplay. He's really just doing what he liked, and he just let his, I guess, mindset play through in his gameplay, and people have been loving this stuff for years now. And he really is definitely one of the greatest innovators in the community for sure. When they say it rains, it pours. Apparently, according to the number 23 spot, we have Diesel's Montage 1, edited by Furion. This video is seriously one of a kind in terms of the editing and the gameplay. It was such a cool link up between these two. Honestly, I'd never even heard of Diesel before this. He must have had some wild gameplay to get Furion to edit an entire 10-minute montage just for his M1. Furion's editing was really vivid and pretty trippy, honestly. It accented Diesel's really original gameplay really well. Diesel just going for these wild sticks, and the ender in this montage is nuts. Like the stuff he was doing on Spire is just absolutely wild. And also hats off to Furion for really consistently maintaining the level of editing that he started off with, and it just continued throughout the video. This video was definitely a special one. 22, we have M9, Ishii's M9. It's a lot of montages, man. If you thought his M8 had crazy clips, then M9 somehow outdid that. What Ishii was going for here, more than he was on his M8, was just more jaw-dropping and shocking clips. Like, there isn't too many montages in terms of gameplay that really made me react like the clips in here. They're absolutely wild. The shots, I actually couldn't even believe half the stuff I was seeing in that last song, which was really well edited, and I'll get to that. But this is probably some of my favorite social gameplay I've ever seen. Just the far range mid multi-kill 360 no scopes he's going for, and just like absolutely wild shit on Epilogue. In terms of the editing, Double A really outdid himself. This is definitely my favorite work from him, without a doubt. Really executing on his effects and just what he was thinking up. And he was really creative with everything he was doing. And I know, some editors can maybe get sort of stuck in a box, or they get comfortable and their videos become really formulaic with what they're doing, and all their videos start to look the same. They don't start trying new effects, they just do what they know. And I like that Double A didn't do that here. He took, without doubt, his biggest video, just pushed his creativity to the limits. In 21, we have Summer Colors, gameplay by Ishii and Emneon. The editing was by FUD, and honestly, the placement is so high on this one, truly because of what FUD did with the editing. The clips were of Emneon's and Ishii standards, I'm assuming leftovers. Obviously really good leftovers coming from those two guys. But what FUD did with them was something special, I'd say. I thought what he did with the soundtrack was pretty genius. Coming into this video, it's titled Summer Colors, and it starts off like really happy. And you think it's going to be this fun little summer video, but then it's super juxtaposed by the second half, which is the next song, which is just really depressing. There isn't too many great melancholic edits out there, and honestly what FUD was doing with this I thought was really original. The editing, it seemed really personal and vulnerable. It honestly really felt like it was coming from someone actually dealing with depression. And even if FUD wasn't at the time, definitely a very good interpretation of what the feeling is. The edit even gets to a point where it expresses sort of the struggles with addiction and substance abuse, and it just feels super personal, and I love it for that. Also, the way that song slows down, and it has these like moments where there's just plenty of space that FUD is editing in to really emphasize the atmosphere he's trying to create, and the way that song actually builds up by the end. It's all so good. At number 20, we have Local's Halo Forum contest entry of, I believe it was 2013, and I also do believe that it was the winner. The angles and what he was doing with implementing them, I don't think anyone has seen anything quite like this before, and we haven't seen it since it was done in 2013 by him. What he was doing was so original. Every time I watch it, I can't even understand how he even thought of doing half the things he did with theater. Also, the song, straight up a banger too, right? And I can honestly, even think about it now, I can still see those angles just flying through my brain. So, definitely a classic and one-of-a-kind video from Local. Number 19, we have Dispute from your boy Brian Pooba. This video is absolutely jam-packed, and it's 6-minute runtime. 4 or 5 songs used here. Not a single time is a song overlong its stay. It's in and then it's on to the next one. And it just keeps everything fresh. The video starts off really loud and exciting. The second song is pretty funny. The whole Pepsi product placement just gets ridiculous. Then the third song, it ends up becoming pretty bleak and somber. The fourth song starts off sad as well. It ends up being really hopeful and triumphant by the end. And also the editing had this really personal touch to it. There was fourth wall breaking moments. Think positive. Thank you, I really mean it. And shit, just random text. It just seemed really, really sentimental. And so, Yeah, I've always loved this video for that because it's just a weird little touch he added that I feel just worked really well. 18, we have Prime by Haunt. The intro is so hard too, and just the transitions are absolutely unbelievable too. That one from Construct to the Pit, like I'll never forget that one. The clips were nuts. There was like MLG Jarls and shit. This video definitely features some of my favorite angle work and transition work, and it definitely shows from the transition from song 1 to 2. It's really like addictive to watch song 2. Everything is just so on point. Yeah, Prime classic video right there. 17, and this may come to a surprise for some, as this might be a lot of people's number one, that is. This is Dutchy's M2. This video is definitely one of the most iconic moments in Halo Montaging. You know, this video can be memed forever just because there's so many recognizable moments in it. The 1v4 moment and how that's edited, you know, the best shots coming up right now. Like, I feel like this video is definitely a Halo Montage starter pack. If someone were to get into like montaging, this would be one of the videos you show them for sure. But there's a lot of really great MLG clips in this video. And sometimes like you don't even notice it's MLG because the multi-kill is just so high. You just feel like, oh, that was a Social Slayer clip until you go back and it's just like MLG. You're like, ah, shit. I think this definitely many years ago would have been number 1 or 2 on my list, but I think it's just it's slightly starting to show its age now. It did come out in 2010, so I mean, which is really reasonable. Straight at the beginning of the decade. X's editing is obviously really great, but what I think is starting to show its age is definitely the soundtrack is definitely from it's definitely a product of its time. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's a video that definitely defined the era it was created in. And so if anything, that is a good thing. The number 16 spot features one of the oddest collaborations of the decade for sure. The title alone just sounds fake of what it is. It's Survival, and it's a Halo 4 Tritage featuring Dutchy, Furion, Nugs. I have no idea who Nugs is. For a Halo 4 2v2 focused montage. It sounds ridiculous, but it ended up being one of my favorite videos of the decade without a doubt. Again, it's just another instance of Furion showing just understanding what makes an enjoyable video. The soundtrack is progressive and how it just picks up throughout the video, and it just builds to this wild crescendo at the end. It feels really grand. Like overall, it's just a really grandiose video. The gameplay is really varied on 2v2. Somehow, Nugs is like often doing wild sticky stuff alongside with Furion, and they're doing like these original plays, like they're shooting through walls and stuff. Then you have Dutchy, who's getting like 2v2 Jaros and shit. Yeah, again, one of my favorite videos and collaborations of the decade. Number 15, we have Old Man Mikowski's Halo Reach montage, edited by Silly Goose. Personally, my favorite Silly Goose video, I just feel like this is without a doubt his best work right here. This is just really the pinnacle of what Silly Goose really ever did. And his style really just like flourishes in this video completely. I don't think I could have asked for a better MLG video than this. This makes me fired up to play MLG, and I don't even play hardcore, you know, so the amount of energy that this video emits is really something else. 14, we have possibly a video that has grown on me more than any other throughout this decade. Collapse the Box. Spud Monkey's gameplay, it's really jump inspired, and I love that last song. Really enjoy the ending of the video as well. I think that's just such a satisfying moment of the video. The spawn kill assassination into the credits. This video really did feel like it was almost ahead of its time, maybe for a few years. This video really doesn't look like a video from 2012. Also, what's even more impressive about this video is it was like, who is Spud Monkey? Anyways, his first really known video. The gameplay is so well done, and the editing, I've made countless of videos, and I've never edited a video as clean as that. Number 13, Legacy by Zola. One of the most well-known videos of the decade for sure. This is probably a lot of people's number one. The editing is just absolutely angelic throughout. You got the freaking solar beams and shit shooting into the sky, and it all just looks so well in that intro. Personally, I feel like song 1 and 2 aren't the strongest. I think song 3 and 4 really outshine the first two. But if anything, that just makes it kind of like an incline of enjoyment, right? So yeah, the first song, I was never too big of a fan of the first song. It kind of sounds like this 90s action movie trailer or something. Honestly, when this video came out, I was probably like 15. I'm sure the first couple times I shed a nerd tear to that last song. I think the ending was pretty brilliant too. Why did such a great video end with a choke? But I think it makes sense. The video is called Legacy. All legacies gotta end. And so yeah, it kind of feels like Zola kind of dies with that dude at the end, you know? Number 12, we got Furion's Final. This video is so good. It's almost into the trance, like it's very hypnotic the way it's edited. It really does feel like I'm in a dream when I'm watching this thing. The clips are really something else. Even to today's standards, these clips are absolutely wild. It's clear that people like Swayze and some of the newer generation montagers have really been inspired by this gameplay. He's definitely a precursor of this style of just going for these wild high sensitivity, just no scopes and just flinging his reticle anywhere and straight buck wild Steve Irwin, honestly. 11, we have Skeleton. Hyena video edited by Zestel. What? Shit. There's 3 segments of this video, all being very different. Different. The first one's this Aphex Twin song. Zestel, the way he edits to like this really glitchy instrumental, it's so good, man. It just, Hyena's gameplay just fits so well with it as well. The second part being my favorite. The editing was just wild. It absolutely takes you to a different world. The last part, it's quite subdued and laid back. It features just these wild outplays. It really made me realize Hyena really doesn't even get credited with his raw outplay clips. Throughout his videos, especially in new eras since like 2013 and onward, there's been such a focus on embarrassing people, and I think he's consistently done it better than anyone who's ever done that style before. Since revisiting all these videos and stuff, it's annoying because he's better than I think anyone ever at just outplays and tricks and embarrassing people type clips that people refer to as like a Slaya style, and the fact that he's low-key better than anyone who's ever done it, and that's something that's not even one of his strong suits, or it is a strong suit, but it's definitely under talked about. It's just absolutely wild to me. He's doing like pressure launches to assassinations, and he's like looking through walls from S3 to line up snipes and shit, and it's just his knowledge it's absolutely nuts, and how far he's really pushed every game he's ever played before. Number 10, Death Machine 2 with Hyena and Wonderland. This video in its runtime of 4 minutes and 48 seconds is pretty much absolutely no filler. A lot of the gameplay here really dives into just super niche clipping here. Some of the stuff gets so weird, gets to the point where I don't even understand what's really happening. And I think there's a plus and a negative, because sometimes I get lost, but I think that's also cool that someone is able to lose me and confuse me to the point where I just absolutely have no idea what just happened. I think that's kind of cool as a viewer that someone's able to even do that through gameplay. The atmosphere, it's just, everything is just so well done. Wonderland obviously going for this really dark tone of the video. I felt like I was in Hyena's twisted brain the entire time or something. It was super cohesive. I love the sound design and what he was doing on the Jaro that was just on midship from simply just spawn kills. I thought that was super cool with what was happening there. But yeah, the video, it has so many twists and turns to it. I think it uses like 3 or 4 different songs, and it's really short runtime. Yeah, it's just such a weird experience of a video. Number 9, we have Versus Bliss 2, edited by Mark? I don't know. But this has been a favorite of mine throughout the entire decade. This video just means a lot to me. I don't even know what it is, but it's the editing and just the feel of everything. It's so wistful and nostalgic. It's weird that I'm able to feel something when I'm watching just a dude with a sniper rifle and stick people and shit, you know? What's able to achieve with what it was given is just nuts. I love the song that was used in it. The edit it somehow feels like it just encapsulates all these emotions, and it's just like 1v1 clips, but it just feels larger than that. Versus clips are also just really great. The sticks in it are just so sick, and the snipes as well. The video has these like huge sync points that hits and just these big moments. It's just a video that's so easy to revisit, you know, and I'm sure I'll continue to revisit this one forever, really. Number 8, we have This Bitter Earth from Crate. The atmosphere alone and how it creates this apocalyptic feel to the video. It feels like Crate was like disappointed in the world when he edited this video, and that's kind of what I get from when I watch this. I think I could talk about Crate's cinematography forever and how he implements his angles, but especially in this one, the hard cuts and what he was doing with it. I don't even know why, but it like provokes emotions, and it definitely adds to the atmosphere. of, again, like this apocalyptic surrounding that he's creating here. Some of the highlights from this Bitter Earth, besides obviously the cinematography, the soundtrack is awesome. I love that song. This video features probably one of the most intricate and elaborate transitions I've ever seen in a Halo video. It's like this 15-second long transition from narrows to orbital, where like leaves the stratosphere, gets to the ship that's literally orbiting whatever planet it's supposed to be. I don't even know how he thought of that. I think some of the effects that definitely create this hopeless world that this Bitter Earth feels like it's taking place in. Everything seems to be decaying and dying around. Through this really dark, melancholy tone, it's somehow wildly beautiful. Number 7, yo, we got Planes by Pooba. What? What? Yeah, so Planes is probably a video I've watched the most on this countdown. The replay value is just really just right out of here, you know. There's so much jam-packed in this video. First off, with the soundtrack, the video is so catchy. Well, it uses probably one of the best pop songs of the 2000s, and then halfway through, it cuts to it like an indie rock cover of the song, and I just thought that was really brilliant. So you get these two wildly different styles of edits, and they're really using the same song, and the whole thing is just so cool. It features some of my favorite clip placement as well, like the all I want to do is, you know, bang 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 sync. Come on, like you can't go wrong with that. But if you were an early adopter of Halo Twitter back in the day, you'd remember this shit was memed like crazy. But yeah, the first part's just so much fun. Yeah, the second part, it just feels super vulnerable. And the syncing still remains so good, and almost arguably even like better somehow in the second leg. The video just goes from like 100 to 0 real quick, you know? Number 6, we have Death Machine from Hyena. Yes, I am one of those people that really believe that Death Machine, the original, is better than 2 and Wizard, and is his best Halo 2 montage. Death Machine just really feels like it could have been Hyena self-titled. I feel like everything is just so within his realm. This video is just so Hyena, and everything from just like the weird song, it's kind of creepy but it slaps at the same time. I love when someone is able to make a main video that's really good with their own clips and edit it themselves. You can make a great collaboration with the editor, but sometimes when you have something in mind, it's hard to explain what you want them to do, and it feels like Hyena was really able to express himself throughout this video without a doubt. Yeah, Riz. Yeah. So, you know, number 5, we got Ill Composed. Edited by GTS. I believe the gameplay is from KMX and Riz. This should be the highest placing for an edit on the countdown. So, I guess in my opinion, the greatest, most quintessential Halo edit of all time. GTS, he was kind of in this interesting between period, I'd say, in ages. He's not old school, he's not new school. But I think he was still a little bit ahead of his time in terms of like the aesthetic and atmosphere he was going out to achieve. The whole thing just really feels like this hazy, abstract daydream. It's probably some of the greatest flow I've ever seen as well. The clips all just land perfectly in the song. The song is pretty versatile in what it was able to provide for GTS to edit with. I love the middle section, the part on Ascension, and when the song really slows down and it really gives the edit time to breathe. That sticky clip on Ascension just fits so perfectly with the song, and then the edit really explodes after and picks up pace like crazy. People will always remember the transitions from this thing, especially that flag transition. It really is kind of like the perfect edit, and so that's why it definitely landed here number 5 and is the highest ranked edit of all time. That's just how I feel about it. Number 4, we have Exillo McGee's Enjoy, edited by Fusion. This video, honestly, no matter when I watch it, it just makes me really happy. It's just this really colorful experience through Halo. I love both Exillo's and McGee's style. You have McGee's just wild team snipers and aggressive pushing play style. What he was doing back in Team Snipers, just for context, for the people who weren't around at the time, back in 2011, 2012, wasn't necessarily the go-to montage clip playlist. It was honestly one of the harder ones, if I'm being honest, to get really sweet multis in. It wasn't until MCC came out where it somehow, I don't know what it is, but Team Snipers has just turned to the go-to sort of clip playlist, where back in the day it wasn't quite like that. The clips McGee was getting, and honestly, and still in my opinion, are just absolutely top tier. I know you see guys like Eli X and whatnot now, who just shit out Team Sniper's catastrophes like every single day and just have them as leftovers. But there was something a little different about the OG Halo 3 Team Snipers, alright? And I don't mean to say that as a gatekeeper. It was a little tougher, and that's why moments like the Killionaire on Orbital, I remember when that clip came out, that was like a huge moment. Dutchie's Killionaire on Valhalla, that was a big moment in M4, which is oddly, I guess I haven't talked about that video yet. Anyways, something about these two play styles really accent each other's perfectly. McGee's really aggressive, fast sniping play style, and then you have Exil's, he was able to do a little bit of everything, splatters, creative plays, and sniping as well. But he had more of like a slower, methodical style to how he played. Yeah, the styles did really mesh well, and you could totally tell whose clips were whose, which is kind of funny because I guess this brings me to one of the parts I want to talk about, which was sort of the drama with this video's release. I think one of the issues Exil and McGee had with Fusion, I think he mislabeled some of their clips. I know that pissed him off, and there was a lot of issues that Exilo and McGee had with this release. I know for a fact that McGee hated the editing, and I would like to know almost 10 years later that if he still feels the same way, but McGee also doesn't really draw me as the type of guy to change his stance on certain things, so I wouldn't be surprised if he still does. But personally for me, I really loved Fusion's editing. Again, I always loved how colorful and vibrant this was. I love the soundtrack on this thing. I really enjoyed his effects. And honestly, I can't even think of too many videos quite like Enjoy as well in terms of editing. Fusion's editing style is really unique. I can't even draw too many parallels between other editors in this community because this was completely a product of its own. That's what it really felt like. Anyway, even throughout all the turmoil and the drama, this video ends up being one of the greatest videos of the decade in my eyes. I'm sure a lot of other people feel the same way about it as well. Ooh. So, we're at the number 3 spot now. Wild. I guess that has to be DeLongo's video, edited by Zestel. This thing just starts off wild, using the intro song off Pink Floyd's The Wall. And it just built up so much hype for the video. You do have to pay a lot of attention to the video. It is at such a soaringly fast pace, where if you're kind of like looking away or you're eating something, you have to kind of look down to fucking take a bite. You may miss a couple of things. But I think in the end that increases the replay value because there's just so much effort put into the video. And there's just so many angles and different effects and stuff I didn't notice on like the first 5 watches because it is just moving so fast in that first song. The pace does slow down throughout the rest of the video, which I thought was a pretty interesting structure. That second song is probably one of my favorite edits ever. That is like the Zestel moment, that is probably one of my favorite moments in just montages in general. And then that third song, the Lana Del Rey song, holy fuck. I think one of Howard's most underrated qualities is his theater work. He is such a well-rounded editor and just his skill set, what he's able to do with videos. The sequence he did on Valhalla and the way it went with the song, how he just like flies from top mid to the base with the camera, and then he does this one angle where the dude goes off the man cannon, and how that just went with the song was just is too good. And also, I realized I haven't talked about DeLongo's clips. Yeah, this also features some of the greatest social clips ever. I think throughout this countdown, maybe I've been bad at highlighting gameplay because, like I said, I'm more into the video in general and the edits and what the video really displays as a whole. And sometimes I do forget about gameplay, but holy yeah, DeLongo, this guy's messed up, honestly. He is that sort of weird hybrid where he's super quick and stylish, but he does have a wild consistency. But anyways, I guess I'll just conclude it at that. One of the most well-rounded videos ever. Number 2. Now I'll say it. You guys have probably noticed which 2 haven't been mentioned. And it is really tough because these are my 2 favorite montages like ever. And it was really hard, I'd say, to choose between the 2. It really was. And so I guess we'll just get into it. So number 2, we have Dutchie's Montage 4, edited by Puba. This was a pretty sweet moment for both the editor and the montager in this case. Dutchie, for instance, he was slightly inactive leading up to this video. People were kind of wondering, is this guy washed? Is he washed? Does he suck now? The trailer came out like 2 years before the video, so people were all kind of wondering if this thing was ever even going to come out. And this video just went from editor to editor, and it went from Haunt, then he scrapped the project. Dutchie moved on to Orphan Slayer. He couldn't do it, and then I think it was going to be a split edit between Orphan Slayer and Puba, but then eventually it just went fully to Brian. And honestly, I think that is the best case scenario what could have happened with this video. I don't think Haunt and Orphan Slayer would have ended up making as memorable and unique of an experience that Brian was able to create here. That's not a shot at them two as editors. I know Haunt probably would have went a similar route to what Exodus did in M2, making it more intense and hardcore. The trailer he created really sort of hinted at that. And Orphan Slayer is great, but I don't think he's as good as Puba or Haunt himself. What Brian did was honestly pretty unexpected. What Puba ended up delivering here was a montage that really set itself apart from just any large video ever. Somehow you click on this video, right, and immediately it reeks of weed. Literally the intro song is called Marijuana and followed up by a Kid Cudi track. And especially in terms of what Brian did with the soundtrack. And honestly I thought more people would follow suit in his style of what he really laid down. And what I'm talking about is just what he did with the soundtrack. Basically, let's say if Orphan Slayer took this video, he probably would have done like intro, body song 1, body song 2, body song 3, closer, credits. You know, that probably wouldn't be too far off what he would have done. What Brian did was like intro, 40 seconds of a verse and a hook from a Kid Cudi song, transition into a single verse from this really abstract hip-hop song from Captain Murphy, and then it leads into a little section of this electronic track, and then back into this really funny tongue-in-cheek hip-hop track, and it just keeps going on like that. No song overlongs it stays. All songs really kind of run for just like a minute long, a little bit longer, a little bit shorter than that. And just constantly, this video feels like it's moving and breathing. Even watching it today, there's certain songs that I even forgot were on the track list. It keeps it fresh, and again, it just keeps things moving well. And I feel like he just really innovated with that style before. He may have got that from somewhere else, but in terms of what we saw in Halo Montaging, we never seen that before. And how someone cut up a soundtrack like that. The only full song we get is the finale, which is that Pursuit of Happiness cover, which is without a doubt one of the most memorable, and it's going to sound nerdy, but emotional experience that I've had with Halo Montages. And then it leads into that fucking heartbreaking, depressing Coma Cinema credit song. People were expecting to see Killionaires from Dutchie. I don't think people were expecting to see that many. The video opens up with like a ×2 narrow on the pit. It really sets things off. That's such a dick out moment, you know, when someone opens up a big video and the first clip's just like a ×2 Killionaire or ×3. I don't even know what it was. That's just a big dick moment right there, honestly. Like when that guitar solo comes in on the Avalanche clip on the Pursuit of Happiness cover, and you ain't feel nothing, then we have to talk, alright? Because I don't know what's wrong with you, but there's nothing wrong with me, cousin. So, yeah, we are here at the #1 spot from, you know, I guess, you know. So, yeah, you know, #1 video of the decade and of all time, in my opinion, Mastery by Hyena. This video is truly the greatest frag video. This video is so tightly constructed, and it never falls off of whatever it was trying to do conceptually. Everything from that intro to the way it just went out. So I guess we'll start with the intro. Hyena himself, he wasn't just a montager. He kind of creates this sort of persona that he is this kind of like a character from an old 70s kung fu film. Like his agility, his speed, and his knowledge of the game. And just all of it encompassing into one character, which is Hyena. In the intro, he's doing fucking drills and shit, you know, shooting grenades out of the sky, which is sweet because it really is foreshadowing a lot what then he presents to you in the montage. So much shit that happened in this video, I don't think I even knew was possible. In the 7 minutes we get here from this video, I don't think there's a single filler clip. Every single thing is like top tier main. It's just so far ahead of everyone else. If you could have made fake predictions for this video and what we were able to see, they would probably come out kind of similar to what we ended up seeing. Also, got a lightning snipe ×2 Killionaire. I don't think we, even before this, saw like a lightning snipe Jaro. So, where did that come from? I don't even know. What I really respect Bo for what he's able to do and how he presents a clip idea is he makes it so it's the farthest thing from half-baked. It is, when he has a clip idea, he does it and he goes out and does it so well where there's no point of even trying to even do anything like it because he's already got the best clip for that idea that he created. And it just really makes for almost no room for people to emulate what he's doing. Again, like he's doing a fucking icicle jump for a snipe. No, he's doing it into an overkill, which then leads into like a catastrophe. And it's just so fast, and it's so unforced, and everything just... What he's doing just does not feel forced. People that are going for creative clips that aren't at Hyena's level, they'll be like, okay, I'm gonna go for a icicle snipe. And so they just kind of sit there by an icicle, and they see someone, and they just go for it, you know? This guy is like, no, it's just something in the back of my head, just shit I know. And it really, what I'm talking about, it goes back to that Bullux rape quote at the beginning of the video, how the playstyle truly manifests himself in matchmaking. And it does, because like I said, it's just not forced, because what he's doing is just really his unique ability to kill people. It's just really living and breathing in this video, and it just truly shows it. Like that last clip, just making no room for it to be outdone. It's a 2v2 triple. 2v2 triples alone are sick. And it was like, he just rocks some kid with a quick scope to the face with a double. And he just so happened to be bottom mid, and he just fucking goes for it. And he hits it, and it wasn't even safe at all. Like, he takes that shot, and he immediately 180 spins, D-scopes out of it. It's like, anyone else would have, like, been shocked and stayed zoomed in or something. But this guy is, like, truly fucking out there, you know, doing his thing. The editing was also so great. I love the soundtrack, and it just, again, created this world that just seemed believable for a character like Hyena to live in. I just think it's really the perfect video. I just really think this is the best video ever. So, yeah. Best of the decade, best of all time. So, yeah, I guess that leaves us with nothing to talk about. Dope. I'm going to go do some laundry. Yeah, so I think you guys should go have a great day. You know, like, I hope you do. Or maybe your day's going to end, you know? Fucking relax, brother. Shit. Anyways, this is Noob Slayer. And I'm going to stop talking. Like I said, honestly, my clothes are probably fucking shriveled up right now. So I got to go. Alright, bye.